What's the most important part of a game? The story, the gameplay, the music. Nothing makes a game immersive like good atmosphere does. Atmosphere is one of the most integral parts of games, so I've picked out 3 games that excel in atmosphere. The first one being when the GameCube was announced, we were shown a gameplay demo of a new Zelda game. It was a duel between Ganon and Link and people loved it, especially the graphics. When the Wind Waker was released, people were disappointed. Nintendo fans were not happy that their beloved Zelda was made to look like a game for children. So you can imagine that when Twilight Princess was announced, people were waiting in anticipation for it to release. And in 2006 it hit store shelves and people loved it, and it's still the best Zelda game. Twilight Princess's atmosphere is at its peak with its visual design. From the sprawling fields of Hyrule to the shadowy depths of the Twilight Realm. Every environment in the game is brought to life with stunning detail. The world of Hyrule is a vibrant tapestry of lush forests, rugged mountains and ancient ruins, while the Twilight Realm is a dark and foreboding place, shrouded in shadow and mystery. The attention to detail is remarkable, with each location brimming with personality and atmosphere. From the quaint villages bustling with life to the eerie dungeons filled with danger. Hyrule Field is a great overworld for the game, with all the areas linking together amazingly. And riding through it has never been better, with the music that plays adding emphasis to the fact you're on a grand adventure. The main highlight for the atmosphere for me is in the dungeons. From an abandoned prison in the desert to a city in the sky and a mansion in the snow. One thing I can appreciate about all these dungeons is how they all blend well into the world. It's not just a fire temple, it's a working place for the Gorons, and it's not just a forest temple, it's a husk of a once great tree. The soundtrack is another part that the game excels in. From the sweeping orchestral melodies that accompany Link's adventures across Hyrule, to the eerie ambient tunes that set the tone for his journeys through the Twilight Realm. Every piece of music in Twilight Princess serves to enhance the game's atmosphere and immerse the players in its world. The soundtrack is a symphony of emotion and adventure, invoking a wide range of feelings from excitement and awe to fear and suspense. The game's themes of light versus darkness and heroism versus villainy are woven throughout its narrative, adding layers of depth and meaning to the player's journey. Whether it's the bond between Link and his loyal steed Epona, the tragic tale of the Twilight Princess Midna, or showdowns with iconic villains like Ganondorf, every aspect of Twilight Princess's story contributes to a rich and immersive atmosphere. The core of Silent Hill 2's atmosphere is in the town of Silent Hill. The location itself serves as a character in its own right. Its fog-laden streets and its dilapidated buildings evoking a sense of desolation and decay. From the rusted-out cars littering the streets to the twisted metal of the abandoned factories, every detail in Silent Hill's environment reinforces the sense of isolation and dread that permeates the game's world. The use of darkness and shadow is particularly effective, with the player often left to navigate the town's labyrinth streets with nothing but a flashlight to pierce the darkness, and unless you know what you're doing, you're going to be navigating the streets a lot. The soundtrack is a masterpiece of atmospheric horror, from the eerie silence of the fog-shrouded streets to the unsettling sounds of unseen horrors lurking in the darkness. Every sound in Silent Hill 2 serves to keep the player on edge, heightening the sense of tension and unease as they explore the town's twisted streets. The music does a perfect job of adding to the tension, ranging from unsettling to calming and melancholic. The most interesting part of Silent 2 is its narrative depth and psychological themes. Unlike many other horror games of its time, Silent Hill 2 leaves cheap jump scares and gore in favour of a more subtle and nuanced approach to horror. See, that was cheap. The game's protagonist, James Sunderland, finds himself drawn to Silent Hill by a mysterious letter from his deceased wife.
In my restless dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday.
Leading him on a journey into the darkest places of his own sight. As James delves deeper into the town's secrets, He's forced to confront his own guilt, regret and inner demons, with the horrors of Silent Hill serving as a reflection of his own twisted sight. Pyramid Head is a great example of how the creature design of Silent Hill 2 serves to reflect James's mind, with him wearing a mask that could represent James hiding his true self, the mask being a pyramid with sharp edges to suggest the pain that James is feeling. Now, Silent Hill 2 isn't the most amazing game when it comes to gameplay, but I'm here to defend it. Silent Hill 2's gameplay mechanics play a crucial role in shaping its atmosphere. The game's controls are deliberately clunky and unawkward, mirroring the sense of helplessness and vulnerability felt by the player as they navigate the nightmarish world of Silent Hill. The combat is deliberately punishing and often best avoided altogether, further enforcing the sense of dread and tension that permeates the game. The camera is purposely zoomed out and limited to make James feel weak and isolated in the town of Silent Hill. It's undeniable that the Souls games are masterpieces when it comes to atmosphere, with the one that does it best being Bloodborne. Yharnam is a city steeped in gothic horror with its towering spires, labyrinth streets, and decrepit buildings shrouded in perpetual darkness. Every cobblestone, every piece of architecture bears the weight of a history steeped in blood and suffering. The attention to detail is amazing, from the grotesque creatures that roam the streets to the macabre decorations adorning every corner. The visual design not only serves to establish the setting but also reinforces the game's themes of decay, madness and the inevitability of death. Complementing the haunting visuals is the game's masterful use of sound. The mournful wails of distant creatures to the ominous tolling of bells. Every sound in Bloodborne contributes to the sense of unease and dread that permeates the game's world. The soundtrack is a symphony of terror with its haunting melodies and discordant rhythms. Even the ambient noises such as the creaking of floorboards or the distant howling of unseen horrors serve to keep the players on edge, never allowing them a moment's rest from the approaching darkness. Bloodborne's enemy design is another key part of the game, and central to the effectiveness of them is the emphasis on both visual and thematic coherence. Every enemy in the game is meticulously crafted to invoke a sense of horror and unease. From the grotesque appearances and their unsettling animation and their behaviours, the design of each enemy is imbued with narrative significance, reflecting the themes of madness, decay and cosmic horror that permeates the game's world. Whether it's the twisted experiments of the Healing Church or the eldritch abominations from the Old Blood, every enemy in Bloodborne serves to deepen the player's understanding of the game's lore and setting. The gameplay mechanics play a crucial role in shaping the atmosphere. The game's punishing difficulty and emphasis on fast-paced visceral combat serves to heighten the sense of tension and desperation felt by the players as they navigate the nightmarish streets of Yharnam. Every encounter is a struggle for survival, every victory a hard-won triumph over the darkness. This relentless intensity keeps the player on edge throughout their journey, ensuring the atmosphere of Bloodborne never loses its grip. One of the best parts of Bloodborne is how the game tells its story. Unlike many other games, Bloodborne doesn't rely on cutscenes to convey a story. It weaves its narrative threads for environmental storytelling, cryptic dialogues and hidden lore scattered throughout the world.
Pale blood, you say? Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church.
Players are left to piece together the mysteries of Yharnam themselves, uncovering the truth behind its downfall and the sinister forces that lurk in the shadows. This approach not only engages the players on a deeper level but also enhances the game's atmosphere by immersing them in its world in a way that feels organic and immersive.